It's everyone's favourite segment, mailbag. Actually, that's Dave's catchphrase, but people on my YouTube channel seem to like the unboxings and mailbag anyway, even though I've only done a couple. So here's an unboxing. So what have I bought today? I've been on eBay again. This time I've bought a Thinkpad. Now I have a couple of Thinkpads already. I was given a few. I got one which I got off eBay, an old Pentium 2 a few years ago. And I was given a few, an R40 and an A31. They have a Pentium M and a Pentium 4, so they're about 18 years old, going on a bit. They're getting on a bit now, but very useful machines. The A31 is what you would call a murder weapon grade ThinkPad. It's about 2 inches thick and 4 kilograms in weight. Still very useful machines today. If you don't mind using older software at least. I even use them to browse the internet and things like that, so quite useful, but I really could do with something a bit newer. Perhaps for things like HD video and more processor intensive websites and photo editing, and also newer software. I use Windows XP on my ThinkPads. I could perhaps do with something a bit newer like Windows 7 or Linux. So I've been on eBay and I purchased a Thinkpad T420. It's quite a well-renowned model. Should be quite upgradable. In fact, I think this one's had some upgrades already. So let's have a look in the box and see what's here. Now, I think ThinkPads have a bit of a cult following. I used to be a PowerBook person. I predominantly used old Mac laptops. I've never had an iBook. I always had old Mac laptops. In the collection at the moment I have a PowerBook 1400C from about 1996 and a couple of G3 PowerBooks, or one, the other one was faulty. But I switched to ThinkPads a while back. The Macs are a bit not as useful as they once were, because they only run Mac OS 9. As much as I like Mac OS 9, I can figure out how to open this thing. Much as I like Mac OS 9, doesn't have the support for a lot of things that old versions of Windows do. You can run a lot of things on, there's lots of software you can run on Windows XP and even Windows 2000 that's newer that you can't do on Mac OS 9. Anyway, this was an interesting eBay auction. I paid £100 for this. It says it's got some upgrades, like an upgraded screen, so it'll be interesting to see what comes. We've got a nice laptop bag. In fact, that looks in decent condition. Throw the box out of the way. Yeah, we've got a bag, a Dell branded bag. So let's have a look and see what we've got. It's a bit empty. Now these sorts of ThinkPads do sell for varied amounts of money. There's quite a lot of them on eBay. They're the kind of things that businesses would have bought by the pallet load and ditched after a few years. So depends on the condition. Sometimes they're in good condition and they'll sell for a bit more. Sometimes they're not in very good condition and won't sell for much. Leave that for a bit. Right, we've got a Serial ATA caddy. We've got another Serial ATA caddy, 2 of them. You can take that out of the CD drive. You can take the CD drive out and put a hard drive in its place. I've just noticed this one, which I don't think is an official Lenovo one, it's probably a third party. Despite the fact that it's designed for a hard drive, it actually has a CD cover on the front, a fake one. This one doesn't though, that's just plain. Comes with the power supply. That's very important because this uses this newer Lenovo style connector which my existing ThinkPads don't use. And here's the ThinkPad itself. Oh, if I can get it out. Stiff. And here it is. Now here's the T420 ThinkPad. Some people say these sorts of units are quite big beasts. It feels quite small and light to me. I suppose it's big compared to something like a MacBook Air or something, but it's compared to my ThinkPads, it's minuscule. One obvious thing, it's got the extended battery sticking out. I've no idea if this works. If it doesn't, I might be able to stick some new cells in. Probably just a few 18650 lithium ion cells, I'm guessing. I noticed on the back next to that special USB port, I think the yellow USB port is for power, but it has a modem port. Quite strange to think that something made in the early 2010s would have a modem, but you can, or you could get these with a Firewire port. Now I'd have much preferred the Firewire port because I do digital video. However, you can swap these out. These are on little modules, I believe, and you can change them out for different modules such as a Firewire port. We've got USB here, eSATA here. I've never used eSATA, doesn't seem very popular these days. Got this here, which is the express card slot, and under there I think that one there is a secure digital card slot. We've got the CD-ROM drive, headset connector, wireless LAN switch, I think that is, power connector on the back there, and on this side we've got VGA port, Ethernet, USB and display port. This is the hard drive. I'm not sure what hard drive's in it. I do have a 500GB SSD going spare though, so I think I'll put that in here. Let's open it up and take a look. The screen's relatively small. It's a 16:9 screen. I'm used to the 4:3 screens. Feels quite well built. It feels quite sturdy to hold. Keyboard's the traditional ThinkPad style. It's the next model up, the T420, that goes to the new chiclet keypad. I don't like the style of chiclet keypads, but I have used one on a newer ThinkPad and they are quite good. They're a lot better than they look. It has the trackpad. I prefer the trackpad. I'm sure the ThinkPad aficionados will dislike me for saying this, but I prefer the trackpad to the nipple. I'm inclined to say those buttons don't feel as good as the old ones. And it has a little webcam in the top as well, I believe. I think that is. So, will there be any charge in the battery? Let's see. It's come on. ThinkPad. Now I shudder at the thought of using Windows 10 for anything, but I will point out this did boot up reasonably quick. Now first thing to notice there, that's a quite high resolution screen and the trackpad's not working. Nipple works, trackpad isn't. Don't know why the trackpad's not. Oh, there it is. It did say it had an upgraded screen. Now this screen looks very high resolution. So if I can remember how to use Windows 10, display settings, got brightness there, laptop internal LCD monitor, night light, don't know what that does. Yeah, 1920 by 1080, that's a full HD screen, and it's quite small for full HD. In fact, I'll turn the brightness down so you can see it. These actually came with I think a 1600 by 900 screen originally. I don't know whether this was an option or whether this would have been a third-party upgrade at some point. Anyway, that's quite nice. I can fit quite a lot on that screen, so that's quite useful. Let's have a look at the battery. At 59%, 4 hours and 52 minutes remaining. That's quite impressive. If that's correct, that's quite impressive. I don't know how long these batteries are supposed to last, but that's quite good. So if it is that, it'll save me having to buy a new battery. Now, I'm not sure if this has a hard drive or an SSD. I can't hear anything, so I'm going to guess it's an SSD. If I have to put the microphone up to where the hard drive should be. We can't hear anything. And I can't hear anything there, so it might be an SSD. How do you check the specs on a Windows 10 computer? I haven't got a clue how to use Windows 10. Start. You see, on Windows XP, you would right click on my computer and press properties, but there isn't a my computer on here. So how do we get into Windows Explorer? I think it's that one. There's a this PC there. I think that's pretty much the equivalent of my computer. Properties. Ah, there we go. 8 GB of RAM. Wouldn't have minded a tad more than that, but we can upgrade it later on if needs be. So what does it say here? It says 8 GB of RAM. Wouldn't mind a bit more than that, but that's still perfectly usable. In fact, the PC that I'm recording this video onto only has 4. Has a Core i5-2520. These originally came with a Core i5, but this one's an interesting one. It actually came with a processor upgrade. Yeah, it came with this Chinese looking envelope. 1x computer parts, it says. Complete with a Royal Mail 48 label stuck on top of an Orange Connects label, so actually came from China at some point. Anyway, this is a little CPU. It said it came with a Core i7 CPU. That's what this probably is. Obviously used at some point. It's got remnants of thermal paste on it. So SR02N, so not entirely sure what that is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. No idea whether it works, it just said it came with it. It just said it was included. So here it is. All the pins look in good condition. So no idea where this is from or if we can use it. You can upgrade these. I know these laptops are upgradable, but I think sometimes they have trouble with the heat, so you might not always be able to upgrade them. But I've got a processor upgrade, so maybe I can use that if needs be. Local disk C, that's 120 GB. I'm inclined to say that that is probably an SSD because it's booted up nice and quick and it's silent. So if I go on properties, hardware, hardware, Samsung SSD, there we go. Yeah, so I don't have the faintest idea how to work Windows 10. I might leave Windows 10 on here and learn to use it a bit. I think I'll put Windows 7 on and hopefully Linux. It seems like a nice machine. Only gaping issue with it, the screen is a TN panel screen. An IPS screen would be nice. This one doesn't have the viewing angles. I can see looking at it like this, it doesn't have particularly good viewing angles. But it's still a perfectly usable screen. It's a nice high resolution, nice and sharp. Colour doesn't look perfect, but it looks reasonable. I think this will be a nice machine. As I said, paid about £100 for it. That's decent value. I think I'll get on quite well with this. If you're interested in ThinkPads, do let me know in the comments what you have, what you prefer to use, whether it's a new one or an old one or anything particularly interesting. If you've got any ideas for things I could do with this, also do let me know. And I'll hopefully do a video with some upgrades at some point.